This is the fuck-ass Amazon copy. One of my jank-ass Amazon copies. Amazon. What is wrong with Jeffrey Bezos? Smut books. This one says, drink coffee. Is this an alcohol thing? Is that why I don't know? What's up, guys? My name is Natalie, and welcome to my Nook of novels. Meow. You're so right. Isn't she right? She is spitting facts. In today's video, I am going to be unhauling some books and reorganizing my bookshelves. Kitty tried to drink my coffee, so I'm gonna set it right here to keep it safe from the beast. This is gonna be a little bit of a cozier, almost vlog style kind of video because I'm just going to be actively going through my shelves and discussing kind of if I'm getting rid of anything, why, or kind of my ideas for how I'm gonna organize things. I'm gonna put things where I think they should go, and then I might be like, no, I hate this. And yeah, this is probably gonna be like a little bit of a longer process. I'm not sure if I'm gonna film the whole thing right now, if I'm gonna have time for that, or if it's gonna take longer than that and I'll have to film the rest of this at a later point in time. Either way is good, honestly. I'm actually so ahead of schedule for once. This is so strange because there was a little bit of like awkward timing today because I had requested off work because I am going to a book convention thing with my mom today, and so that's tonight and tomorrow morning is when that is. And so our online scheduling app for work is like super weird and just does crazy things sometimes, and one of those things is that when you request off a shift for a day, like just part of the day, it automatically like doesn't let you work the entire day, which is fine. Obviously I wasn't like, a day off? No, count me out. Obviously I was like, okay, if I have to take the day off. I went to the gym with my boyfriend's mom this morning, and then I had a job interview earlier in the day, and then I came home and took a nap, and now I just have this like chunk of time before I am going to this book thing. So yeah, I thought what better way to spend that time than to go ahead and film my video for next week. Like, what are we, 6 days early? This is crazy. I'm never this early, but it's very good news, especially for this particular week, because next week I'm doing a vlog that I am so excited for, and I'm not going to give away what it is, but it is a challenge vlog, and this is something that I came up with about a month ago, I want to say, and I've just been so excited for this. I've been waiting for this day ever since, so I feel like I've been waiting my whole life for this moment kind of thing. But yeah, that's gonna be super exciting and fun, so look forward to that. But yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and get this out of the way in the meantime, so I have plenty of time to give that my best effort next week. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a couple of the books that I know for sure that I'm going to unhaul, and kind of what shelves that they were living on and where that will allow us to have some more space. Also, sorry if I'm talking to y'all and just randomly looking off in different directions. 90% of the time when I'm doing that, it's because I'm watching the cat and trying to make sure she's not about to literally bomb our house or something crazy, because she likes to do literally like the worst things that she can possibly come up with. So yeah. So the first two books I'm unhauling, the first one is Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. This is the Amazon copy that they sent me a couple years ago. I originally bought this just for a class anyway. I didn't think it was amazing by any means. I was just like, okay, whatever, it's a classic, cool beans. But what the is this, guys? I crash out every time I see this, because when it first came in the mail, I was like, hello? This is what a normal book looks like, guys. What in the world? This awful, terrible, this font, this doesn't even line up with the edges of the front. It feels disgusting. And also, it's literally like copyright from Penguin Random House. Are they allowed to do this? Like, I feel like they're probably not. And then the pages aren't numbered. It literally just looks like disgusting on the inside. And I just have no words for how horrid and like uncomfortable this copy makes me feel. There's just like 4 extra like blank pages in the back of this. Like, what is wrong with Jeffrey Bezos? Because what the flip, guys? What are we doing here? I know y'all probably heard that rant if you've been here for a long time. If you haven't, welcome to my Nook of novels and my TED Talk location. I hate this with every ounce of my being, and I am going to get rid of this as soon as I possibly can. The next book I'm getting rid of is The Sixth Man by John Feinstein. This is just a book that's been sitting on my TBR because it was my brother's book. And so I have this weird OCD thing where I have to read every single book I own no matter what. When I was still living with my parents, that kind of extended to my brother's books in a way where if it was something I was interested in, then I was like, yeah, okay, I may as well read it anyway. And even some of the ones I weren't really, I was like, okay, like I'll read that anyway just because. And this was one that kind of fell into that like just because category. And then a lot of the others I ended up putting in my punishment jar because I was like, I'll at least have a chance to read them if nothing else. But yeah, so this was in the just because category. It slowly gravitated down towards the please God don't make me read this category. So I just decided like this isn't even my book. I don't have to read it. I'm just going to absolve myself of all responsibility that I feel towards absolutely nobody to read this for no reason at all. I am no longer going to have this. And don't worry, I'm not just randomly donating one of my brother's books. I'm not like an evil human being, but I brought it back to him to give it to him and he was like, I don't want that. So that's why it is going in the unhaul pile. Before I show you guys this next book, I just want to preface this by saying don't panic. I have multiple copies of this book. For the 80% of you who are watching this, who I'm sure this is one of your favorite books, fear not. Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I'm not 100% certain yet that I'm going to be getting rid of this. I have to talk to my boyfriend first because originally when I bought the second copy of the book, so we weren't living together yet at the time, and also I'm pretty sure it was while we were like long distance, so I was reading it to him like over the phone. I had gotten a second copy so that he could have one to like also read alongside or like read it to me or whatever. So this is technically his copy, but I don't think that my boyfriend cares about having a copy of Iron Flame when I already have one that has sprayed edges too. Like I don't think that he is absolutely attached to having a second copy of this book. So I'm gonna obviously talk to him and make sure before getting rid of this book, but I figured there's not really much point in having two copies of a book that I felt was pretty good. And this book was living on the top of my pink shelf back here behind me. That's where my other Iron Flame books are as well, and I'll show you guys all of the shelves at some point. I just heard a random noise and thought my alarm was going off, but I'm just losing my mind instead. So I'll show you guys all the shelves, and that one is just specifically for Iron Flame books, but I figured I'll probably go ahead and get the new ones as they come out, probably most likely, and so that will fill up the rest of that shelf. But I also might put other things on it. I haven't decided yet. I'll have to just kind of look at what I have and see how I feel. So that's where this one was. And then The Sixth Man, this one just lived on the shelf behind me, like at the very bottom in the black book section. There's a lot of gaps right there now. I guess I just read not even a ton of books from that, but I read like Haunting Adeline, and that's like bigger. And then The Book Eaters is on my TBR now that was there, and I don't really know what else was down there, but a lot of things have come off the shelf from there, and so now there's a really big space, and so I'm definitely going to be squeezing some more books right there. But that's where this one was. This book was over here on the shelf that my boyfriend made for me. I'll go ahead and like show you guys what I'm talking about. So this bookshelf right here, it has like doors on it, but I want to say it was in like the bottom shelf down here or something. I don't really know specifically where it was, but it's kind of a little bit of a mess in here, so this is definitely going to be like a priority area of focus for this video, but that's where this guy came from. So without further ado, I'm kind of just going to start going through my shelves and grabbing books that I think that I will be unhauling. Also, this is completely unrelated and random, but I really just wanted to share with the class. So this coffee tastes amazing, and the reason for that is because we got like a fancy coffee that we thought were coffee grounds, but they're actually coffee beans, but it was from like 4 or 5 different countries or something, and I was like, this sounds incredible. And so I found out about 30 minutes ago that they were beans, and so I had to like grind them up with a makeshift mortar and pestle, and now I have delicious tasting coffee. So it took me forever to make, but look, it was really good. And I haven't cleaned out the coffee maker yet. I'm gonna do that after I film some of this, but please, for the love of God, don't let me forget to clean that out, guys, because I just bought a brand new coffee maker because this happened last time and it was disgusting. But yes, yummy, delicious coffee. Thumbs up. Okay, so I don't even know really where to start with this. I guess I'm going to make a pile for like Unhaul, and then a pile for books that I just feel like should find a new home, because especially with some of the books right here. I'm looking at The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Notes on an Execution. This one I loved, and so this definitely needs to go on one of my happy, yay, I loved these books shelves. And this one I just feel like he shouldn't live down here because he just doesn't give off those vibes. Do you know what I mean? I'll put him there and we'll ponder it for now. Unhaul. Unhaul. Also, side note, I have some books on my shelves on accident that are my mom's. So these are also coming off. These like fun, pretty looking classics editions. Those belong to my mom. So those have to go back, which makes me sad because like Wuthering Heights is so pretty, but it's okay. They're not mine. I'm not a book thief. Get it? By Marcus Isak. Unhaul. So things are definitely going well so far. The biggest problem I would say I'm running into is just that I don't have enough books that I've read and loved. Like, I don't like enough books for this to work well, because this shelf right here and the one in my closet and the little shelf over there, those are all supposed to be books that I want like on display. I just can't find enough books that I'm like, yeah, I want this one on the display shelf, because I want them to be books that I really truly fell in love with, and I'm just struggling with what to put where as a result of that. So yeah, but I figured some things out pretty well for that little shelf over there. I'll give you guys a little bit of a tour. I'll start right here. So one of the big changes I made was adding All the Crooked Saints to this shelf, and I took Ugly Love away on this side because this one came off of the shelf in my closet of my all-time favorite books to fit Notes on an Execution over there. So this gravitated over here and Ugly Love got kicked off and sent to the mini shelf. I switched these two. So I originally had this one on bottom and this one on top, but I like the idea of this sprayed edge being visible because I think that makes it extra pretty. So I switched those around. And then down here, sorry, these angles are like terrible, but this shelf right here, I took the Scorpio races off of here, as well as Butcher and Blackbird was sitting on here as well, but that's going to my June TBR, or my August TBR for right now. So I don't know if that one is going to go back here when I'm done with it. I just don't know yet. This one I'm still trying to figure out. And then over here on my closet shelf, this bottom one right here is really ugly, but this is just kind of my priority TBR shelf. So I'll arrange it a little bit, but the books on this shelf are for sure staying. So it's not a wonderful color scheme to work with, but it'll just have to do for now. This is my shelf of my favorite books. So All the Crooked Saints was living right here on the end, and I took that one away to put Notes on an Execution over here on this side. And I also added Looking for Alaska because there was an extra sliver of space right there as well. I'm pretty happy with this. Honestly, I think this shelf has been the same for years, probably since like 2017. This has been pretty consistent, but I just love the look of it, and I really do feel like this encapsulates some of my favorite books. So I'm really happy with that one. And then I'm also really happy with what I was able to do with this tiny shelf, because this one is really difficult to arrange just because of the shelf sizing. So when my boyfriend originally made this book for me, he made it as a size to fit underneath my dorm bed, so it had to be very specific dimensions. And so this bottom shelf is the only one that's tall enough to actually fit tall books. Everything else has to be paperback or like specifically shorter. For that reason, it's just harder to arrange things on here. But I really like the layout I have right here. I just really like when colors feel like they blend into each other. And I also liked the like white kind of thing. I feel like that gives good balance to the shelf. But there's a couple gaps here for specific books. So The Crown's Fate is going to go right here once I read that, because that'll complete that duology. Sunrise on the Reaping is going to go right here once I read it, because that's a duology. And then Ruin is going to go right here because that's the third book in this series that I own. Hopefully those all fit. I'm not really sure about this, but I can always take out this Isle of Lost graphic novel and give him a home somewhere else if it doesn't really fit all the way there. But yeah, so I feel like this one was the hardest thing to do, but now that I'm done with that, I'm very happy with how things are looking. And yeah, so there is that so far. So it's around 8 a.m. the next morning. So I just finished reorganizing my shelves. It actually took me a lot less time than I thought it would. It was a pretty easy process all in all, especially because I kind of have like clumps of books figured out already. Like these ones generally look good together. So just what clumps can I put next to these other clumps to make everything look nice is kind of my criteria for how to make everything look good. But yeah, so this is what I ended up with for the final finishing touches of this shelf. What I kind of try to do with my shelves in terms of like not my TBR shelf obviously because that one's just a rainbow, but with everything else I kind of just try to blend colors into each other, just kind of what colors look good together or like work well with the color books that I have. So what I have here is just kind of white going into pink, going into purple, and then I have this like purpley green which I feel like connects to the green books over here. You probably can't see from that angle, but it starts with Anne of Green Gables and Stalking Jack the Ripper, and then it goes over to, you know, the other greens and the blues, and then I start down here with reds, go into grays and blacks, and then blues, and then yellows on the end there. And I just feel like I have like a combo here where everything kind of blends in nicely. And I don't have to have any side stacking books with this setup as well. That was an issue I kind of had before where I was running out of space and had to start like, side stacking way beyond what looked reasonable and nice. Normally I don't really mind side stacking. I just feel like the height of the stackage has to line up with the books around it. And it was definitely past that point for sure. So now the only real problem, if you will, is going to be when I read books. Obviously, when I take things off my TBR shelf, they always need to find a new home. So it makes it kind of difficult to have my TBR separate from everything else because I have to find a new home for every single book that I read. But I just still have all this space right here, like at the bottom of my desk. Now all I have there is Feng Shui for the Home Encyclopedia by Monica Castaneda. And then I have my Saga volumes. And then everything else on the shelf is completely empty. So, oh, you know what? I just found this book. I completely forgot about this. Whoops. I guess I'll probably have to find a home for this one as well. I think my game plan for right now is just to kind of use that for the books that I finish, which is kind of just what I've been doing recently anyway, and then find homes for them as I go. And then also the shelf in my closet, obviously the top shelf there is these are my favorite books of all time and I love these books shelf. And then right underneath that is my priority TBR. So as I read books off of that shelf, I'm thinking that I'll probably have more space there where I can kind of make that start to look nice as well and fit more things there. So yeah, I want to give you guys just a little final overview of all of the books that I'm unhauling. So I did talk to my boyfriend and Iron Flame is going to go. I'm actually going to the thrift store later today. I might even bring y'all along with me for that, and I'll kind of give you guys a little haul of like what I spend my money on that I get from sending these books in. But this is the first one, which I'm very glad. I feel like this is a solid one to bring in terms of racking up enough coin to actually have enough store credits to get books with. Excited about that one. And then I have these two. I don't know for sure if I'm gonna bring these into the thrift store or not. Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, and then I have another edition of Oliver Twist. These are ones that were my mom's, but she said she didn't really want the children's edition, so she said that I could have them, but I want to make sure that she doesn't want these since I don't want them before I bring them in. So I'll be seeing her today before I go to the thrift store, so I'm going to like see if she wants these, and if not, then I'll bring those in. I still have these two from before, Death of a Salesman and The Sixth Man. And then we have The Hunt for Red October by Tom Clancy. I recently listened to the audiobook of this, but I liked it. It was okay, but this isn't really my type of book. It's not really my vibe, so I don't really care to keep this copy. And it's also beat to high heels, so I feel no need to hang on to this. And it's also just really ugly in general. Even if it was like beat up and pretty looking, maybe I would keep it, but I just don't care to have this book whatsoever. Then we also have Maleficent, adapted by Elizabeth Rudnick. I mean, this is just a book I read when I was a kid. It's a movie to book adaptation. Like, I just feel like I don't really care that much. I did enjoy it when I read it. I thought it was good, but it's just not something that I'm emotionally attached to by any means, so I figured I would go ahead and get rid of this one. And then we have The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck, which I know it's a classic or whatever. I read this for school, and maybe I would have enjoyed it more if I didn't read it for school, but it was very long and there wasn't a lot that happened, which obviously isn't always a bad thing in books, especially when they have, you know, fun writing, deep themes, things like that, which I'm sure this book had both of those, but I was just so bored, especially with having to do school stuff with it. I'm just not a classics girly, and it's really hard to convince myself to like classics, so I just did not feel the need to hang on to this one. And then there's a couple more that I was kind of on the fence on, so I decided I'm gonna hang on to them for now, especially because they do not take up much space at all. So the first one I have is Poems on Nature. This is just a teeny tiny poetry collection that came from Barnes & Noble. It was like free with the purchase of like some other books or something, and some of the poems in here were pretty, but it's just a tiny thing thing. I don't think about this. This isn't really impactful on me at all, but some of the poems were pretty. I love poetry, so that kind of makes me want to hang on to this just because I did like some of them. I couldn't even tell you which ones, to be honest. I would literally have to go back and reread this, and I'm just not going to. But I just kind of want to hang on to it, but part of me is like, this book had no impact on me whatsoever, so like, do I need to keep it? But also it's kind of cute, so I don't really know. Like I said, I'm really torn about this one, so I'm just gonna hang on to it for now, and then I'll think about it for the next time I do a major unhaul, and then at that point I'll kind of go from there and decide. We also have The Awakening by Kate Chopin. This one, I enjoy this as far as classics go. I would say this is probably one of my favorite classics, which makes me not want to unhaul it, but also the bar is not very high because I don't really like classics that much, but I liked the feminist vibes of it, and I thought it was like very fun in terms of like showcasing the patriarchy, especially within this time period. I really enjoy reading about like feminist vibes. For that reason, I did like it. I don't know, it's just one of my jank Amazon copies, and so I'm like, do I really need this? I just feel like I could, if I wanted this book, I feel like I could get a nicer edition of it. And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of my classics. It's just like, if I really, really want it, I can get like the cute Barnes & Noble edition. But I just feel like I don't really care that much enough to like spend my money on something like that. So I just don't really know. But I'm gonna hang on to this for now because I did really like it. And then same with The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. It's a poem. I feel like it's not really long enough to constitute like a whole book format. I don't really know. I feel like that like confuses me. They turned it into a book when it's one singular poem that I feel like I could just Google. But at the same time, this was so pretty. Like, I love this poem. It's very, very beautiful. But also, what the hell is this blurry pixelated bird? Why is he literally 6 pixels? What am I looking at? Amazon. This actually is so annoying. So again, like, I could just get a nicer version of this, but I did really like it. So I kind of want to hang on to it for now. Maybe I'll go ahead and buy like the new edition of one or both of these. Probably not The Awakening, honestly. This is not a book that sits in my brain or that I think about at all. But when I do see it, I'm like, oh, I liked that one. But I don't know. Again, like, I'm just gonna hang on to these. Maybe at some point I'll come to a full decision about those. But until then, they are just going to happily sit themselves back on my shelves. Now, there is one other conundrum that I have, and that's the fact that the books that are on my monthly TBR don't really have a home right now. So from Buick 8 by Stephen King, that one originally was sitting on my priority TBR shelf anyway, so that one is fine. There's still like space on that shelf that one can go back to. Same with Ruin by John Gwynne and The Hunted by Charlie Higson. 4 by Veronica Roth is just a library book, so that one's not really an issue. So Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil I'm currently reading, and I'm not really sure where that one is gonna go because again, that is one that I'm really enjoying, and I think I'm gonna want that on one of my display shelves, but I just have no idea where, to be honest with you guys. And I kind of want to dismantle my Fourth Wing shelf, but I don't really know what to do with it at this moment, so I'm kind of just leaving it as is. That one is just gonna be a work in progress for now, but I'll go over to that shelf in just a minute and kind of give you guys more details about what I'm thinking with that one because it's a little bit complicated. And then the other thing is Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. That one was also sitting on that nice pink shelf because of the sprayed edges, but I don't really know how to like properly display a book with sprayed edges, and there's no longer room on that shelf for it, so that one is just another one I'm just gonna have to like figure out when I get there. We will cross that bridge later. I have no idea. Same with The Book Eaters by Sydney Dean, but that's another one too where I think I'm probably gonna really enjoy that one. So I might just start like I might start putting the books I really, really enjoy on that section of my like priority TBR shelf that has extra space on it, and kind of like as I get through my priority TBR have that kind of merge into more of a these are some of my favorite books kind of shelf. But we'll just kind of have to see how that goes like as it goes, because I don't really know if I'm going to continue to put a lot of books on that shelf that are priority TBR, or it's also split down the middle, so I could do like half of it priority TBR, half of it some of my favorite books, so we'll see when we get to that point. And then I'm gonna have to find a home for Unravel Me too, but that one's probably gonna take us a really long time to get through, so I'm not super worried about that. I'm kind of stressed now that I just found Clockwork Angel because these books fit in here exactly. There was no extra room, so there is that. But Clockwork Angel isn't one that I'm like, oh, this one needs a very good spot. Like, that's one I can just throw wherever the like, I don't really care. But I'll go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about on the pink shelf because I'm confused to be quite honest with you guys. So I'm honestly just gonna do like handheld shots for this because I feel like that's the best way to show you guys these shelves because it's really hard to film these from the correct angles. So basically at the top here is my Fourth Wing shelf, and ignore the knickknacks. I like don't really know what I'm doing with these yet, so I kind of just threw them on here where the cat cannot get to them. But so this is how it is right now, but low-key, it's kind of ugly. I don't know how I feel about it. I just also don't like Fourth Wing enough to have a whole shelf dedicated to it. Like, I think it's good, but it's not one of my favorite books by any means. So I just feel like this is really dramatic and extra. They're pretty too with the edges, but I don't know. I feel like it's a lot when I could fit books there that I like a lot more than Fourth Wing. And then down here on this shelf, there was a lot of awkwardness in terms of like, what do I put on this shelf? Because originally I had this way. It was like on the other side of this stack. And I was like, what in the world do I do with all this space? And then I remembered the side turning books is a thing. So I'm kind of just doing that right now to fill the space. But I feel like behind it looks a little awkward. So low key, I might take Clockwork Angel and just shove it back there behind this one to make this bookshelf look more full, because I don't know what to do with that book and I really don't care where it goes. So I might do that and then make like a stack behind this of like more books that I have mediocre feelings towards. So that's always an option. This is kind of a secret, but I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys anyway, because let's be so for real, I don't think I'm ever gonna get to this video that I was gonna do. So a few years ago, I had this idea where I was gonna go to this thrift bookstore and buy books without dust jackets. And then I was gonna read them and I was gonna make a whole video on like, oh, like I knew nothing about these books and I read them. But low-key, like I might just go ahead and read them. I'm truly just never gonna get to that video. Like it's just not gonna happen. I don't really care enough about it anymore. It's just not something I'm excited for at all. And I just don't think that it's gonna make that good of a video without my enthusiasm. I just feel like y'all wouldn't want to watch that either. Like I feel like it's not as good of an idea as I originally thought. And I have so many better ideas and more things I have prioritized. So yeah, so this is what I mean though, where there's like extra space on this shelf. I could fit at least like 3 or 4 more books on this shelf. So I think I might try to do that. And like I said, build into this more of a books I love kind of thing as these ones start to disappear. So yeah. Hey y'all, so it is the same day as this morning when I finished up reorganizing my bookshelves, and I just wanted to give you guys a little haul of everything that I've acquired in the past couple days, because I originally was just going to kind of show you guys all of the books that I got with the store credits that I brought those Unhaul books into the store to exchange to get credits. That started off strong and just went downhill as I kept talking. I figured, like, I went to a book event this weekend and I thought I got a lot of Bookish goodies from that, so I thought I might as well do a whole haul while I'm here and show you guys everything Bookish that I acquired. If you guys are wondering, it was the Rockin' Reader romance book signing / convention thing. It was in Knoxville, Tennessee. So yeah, it was super fun. The thing about the event is I did feel a little out of place because it was a lot of just smut books, and I do read some smut, right? Like I read Colleen Hoover, Hunting Adeline, things like that. Like I have Butcher and Blackbird on my August TBR. Like I do read some dark romance and like just other like romance books in general. I'm not like a stranger to that genre, but an event like this was so overwhelmingly smut books. And not that that's a bad thing, obviously, because like, everyone has their like genre of choice, but holy shit, I saw so many fake genitals this weekend and it was absurd. I just cannot stand a book with a shirtless man on the cover. I have this whole line of reasoning why. Because first of all, I just don't think it is a pretty cover. Like it makes the book look ugly, in my opinion. Not to like shit on authors who do this, because it was like most of the authors at the event was this kind of romance book where it's literally just a shirtless man on the cover and nothing else. I just don't think it's a good sales point. Like it makes it look like you're selling a porn book instead of a romance book, which I feel like is very different. Like I feel like you're reading a book for plot and the romance and not just for the smut, if that makes sense. Like if I'm reading a romance book or a smut book, I hope I'm invested in the plot too. I hope it's not just smut and nothing else, because that would just be really boring. Like I don't know why you would want to read that. So I just feel like it makes it look bad. It doesn't give off like the vibes of the type of book that I think that most people would want to read when they're looking for a kind of romance book like that. And I just don't think it looks as good. And I feel like it's kind of morally questionable cool to like have the selling point of your book be based on some random guy's body who you're throwing on the cover of a book. Like, I just don't like the vibes of that in general as well. But that's my take on shirtless man covers. I'm gonna leave it at that because that's not what we're here for. We're here to see the books I acquired. I'm gonna start with all of the free stuff that I got from this event. My dress is in here that I wore. I changed, but I wore my little words dress because I thought a book convention is a wonderful place to wear something like that too. We have lots of stickers in here as well. So I guess I'll start with like the knickknacks I got. So I have this is like a card with the glazed QR code and stuff. They had these dragon bookends and I kind of really wanted one, but all they had like physically in person were not really colors that I liked, the ones that they had left by the time I went back over there. So I was gonna look on the Facebook one and see if there was anything that I just really loved the color of there and tried to buy one of those because they were so cool looking. They were so cool. I really loved those. I have this little bracelet. They had a little like bowl of bracelets sitting there and I was like digging through them and a lot of them were like references to the book. I don't know, Joanna and Davy or whatever. Like it was like names and I was like, oh, I don't know this. Or like one of them was Kingston University because that was the name of the series. I want to say the author was like Leela something, but I was like, oh, I don't really understand these. And so I'm like digging through and then I'm like, I'm already digging and the author is like watching me dig through this bowl. So I like panic and I'm like, okay, I have to grab one, right? So I panic grab the one that says Ride a Cowboy. Now I have this bracelet as well. I also have this little tarot card thing that says The Hockey Romance. I don't like sports romance books. I'm not into sports at all, but I do think this little tarot card is really, really cute. And then I have an absolute ton of stickers in here that I have no idea what I'm going to do with, but I'm so excited to have them and I'm going to have to brainstorm something to do with them because my laptop case is already covered in Taylor Swift stickers, which I might have to retire so I can fill it up with book stickers instead. But I honestly think I have too many stickers for my computer. So I could put some of these on my typewriter. I could put some like on my desk on the drawers and stuff, but I don't really know other than that. So if y'all like have any ideas for places to put these stickers, then please comment down below and like give me some ideas for that. I guess I could put some on the side of my bookshelf right here too. I feel like that could look really cute for videos. So I might do that actually, but I'll ponder it later. The first one I have is this one that says Big Duck Energy with a little duck. Then I like my coffee icy and my book spicy. We have Dark Romance. We have Morley Gray, Take Me to the Bookshop. I hope these are focusing. If not, this is going to be really, really upsetting to edit later. It says Utterly in Love with the Murray Brothers. I'm assuming that's from like the series of The Table that I got the sticker from, but I thought the otters were really cute looking. This little cat on a book, which I thought reminded me of Kuromi, which is the cat that lives here with us. That's so funny. I just dropped it and then she came running towards it. That's adorable. Come here, Kuromi. Okay, she doesn't care. But anyway, book cats. Oh, someone's here. It's you. You're the someone. I couldn't tell you were here until you went. But now I knows. We have this little sticker that says book early. And then this one just says read. We have this sticker that says I read past my bedtime, which is so real. This is literally me every single night because I mean to go to bed at 9 and then I go to bed at 11 instead. And then I sit there and read 2 or 3 chapters before I fall asleep. Do you guys see it now? She's exactly the same. And then I have this one that says Faith Gibson, Action, Adventure, Romance. This one says Ember Davis, Sexy Stories with Heart, and it's just all of her books together on a little shelf. These both say Aces High. I'm assuming, I don't know if this is like the name of the series or something, but this one says Charleston, South Carolina, and this one says Sierra High, Georgia. While I was at the book event, I saw a book that was called Sierra or something like that, or like the Sierra or something, and it was a hockey romance, so I'm assuming it's related to that, but I thought these were both very cute. And this one's actually a magnet. I'm not realizing it's not a sticker, so yeah. This one says This one says, Call Me a Little Guy. This one is a little bookshelf, and I just think this is so cute because it has a bunch of like real books on it. It has autobiography by Christina Lauren, which I love. I'm obsessed with that book. It was so good. It has Always and Forever Laura Jean by Jenny Han, which I really enjoyed. After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I haven't read and I do not own. Truly Madly Guilty by Liane Moriarty. We have Emergency Contact by something Fang Choi. I don't remember her first name. Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, which I do own and haven't read. Solitaire by Alice Oseman, which I haven't read and don't own, but I love the Heartstopper series by her. Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, which I do really want to read. I don't own it, but I do really, really want that book. A Quiet Kind of Thunder by Sarah Bernard, and then, which I've never heard of, and I want to say this says, like, I cannot read this at all, actually, the last one. There's Something by R.W.R. McDonald. So yeah, I think this is absolutely adorable, and I love that there's real books on it and that it looks like the real books. The colors are different, I think. Like Fangirl is a different color, but that might just be a special edition or something, or like a different edition than the one I'm thinking of. But yeah, I love this. I think this is adorable and perfect. Then we have just a book. And then this one says Playboys of New York. I'm assuming this is the name of a series. I stopped at this one table and I got 2 Blind Date with the books. And I don't know what any of the books like looked like or what they were or anything, but I'm assuming this is like the name of one of the series because all of their books at the table were Blind Date with a book. But the dude kind of like peer pressured me into grabbing a sticker, so I grabbed one because I got nervous. So, but now I have this sticker as well. The Reader. I think this one is so cute looking. I love this. We have this one that says Main Character Energy. And then this one says So Many Books, So Little Time. And that was all the stickers I got. I also have this bookmark shaped like a dick, which I will not be showing you guys. I have 2 little raffle tickets as well. I have this bookmark that says Spicy Romance Book Club. This is like a really sturdy bookmark, and it's like a little admit one ticket. It says membership lifetime, time whenever I'm feeling a spice. Give me all the smug, please. And it's pink and cute, and I enjoy that. I also have this teeny tiny book. It's Don't Date Your Roommate by Elise Kelly. She was so nice, and I bought a notebook from her, which I'll show you guys in a minute, but this is one of my favorite covers of her books because I feel like this looks so fun. As far as shirtless man book covers go, this is my favorite because obviously they literally just went on a whole tangent. Like, they're so annoying and I hate them, but I feel like this one looks like a fun comedy romance kind of thing, and I enjoy that the vibes of this one are like different than all of the others, and that brings me joy. And then I also got this thing of tabs so I can tab my books. I've been meaning to pick up new tabs and I just keep forgetting, but I'm so glad I have this one, and this is like the perfect color scheme for me as well because blue is my favorite color, and this is just so cute and I love it. So super excited to have this as well. Okay, so moving on to some more non-bookish things that I got. Moving on to some more non-book things that I got. These are all bookish things, but they're not all books. I got these 3 pins. This one says Romance Rendezvous Book Blog. This one says Amelia Shea. And this one says Harlow Ray. And then this one is still in the little packaging, but I think this is so cute. It says, on my way to make some bad decisions. And I just realized it's a goose driving a car, which is so fun. It's also sparkly and pink, and this is the cutest pin I've ever seen in my life, and I'm so excited about it. So happy to have this one. And then I got this free yellow scrunchie as well, and this drink bag thing. I'm not really sure how this works. Is this an alcohol thing? Is that why I don't know? It's just a bag. Okay. Drinking for those hero vibes is what it says. And then I got this little duck. They had like a whole bucket full of ducks that you could just take one, and I wasn't really sure which one to get, but I thought this one looked like Chapel Roan, so that was my inspiration for choosing this duck. And then I have this pink notebook that says Have the Day You Deserve, and it's just pink with pages on the inside. I don't know why I said with pages, like it would be a notebook without any pages, like it would just be the cover, but you have to pretend there's pages in it. I just meant like the pages are blank is what I meant by that. And then this one is a little coloring page. It says Jessa Aarons, that's the name of an author. And this little sticker right here says Ladylike as fuck. And it has little crayons, which I think is really funny because this was like a very erotica romance smut event, and they give you a little page to color with your little crayons, and I think that's really funny. That is all of the free stuff that I acquired from this event. Aside from this tote bag that you get for being a VIP member, which most of that stuff came in this bag. Some of it I just picked up as I went around the tables because a lot of them were handing out like stickers and things. It just says a VIP bag sponsors. Hashtag RRR25. Knoxville, Tennessee, August 2nd, 2025. Now moving on to the things that I purchased from this event. So the first one is this notebook that says Morally Gray is my favorite color, and I just love this aesthetic, as you will come to notice because I bought multiple things with this aesthetic on them, and I just think this is so pretty and I love it. And it's a book like journal thing, so it's not a notebook with pages in it, it's a notebook with fun pages in it instead. It has like book review, and you put the book image and how you read it and the spice level, the rating, quotes, characters, tropes, info, summary, review, and notes, and then you also have have pages where like you can just like make a list of all of them, and I love book journals like this. I think it's so fun, and I really wanted to get this specifically because this is the author Ryle. Oh, I wasn't even close. I don't know why I said Ryle. I don't know where I got that from, but Elise Kelly is her name. She was so nice. I bought this notebook from her, and yeah, I'm so excited about this. The next knickknack that I bought was this little cup, and again, it has that same aesthetic to it with the skeleton, and he's reading a book, and there's all these red flowers, and I just think this is so pretty and cute, and it comes with a little straw as well. That's still in the box, but yeah, I just thought that this would be so cute to drink coffee out of. They were selling a bunch of tumbler kind of cups, but I just think that I've had tumblers before that I used for a bit and then kind of never really used and got rid of, and I just think having like a different kind of fun cup that really screams drink coffee at me would make me very happy, especially with a book on it. So that is why I got this one in particular. And then everything else I have to show you guys is strictly books. So this first one I have is Flirt Like a Champ by Willow Sanders. I really love like the colors on this, and the description sounded really interesting, and also it's really short. What like drew me over to this table was there was another book by this author called Redhead in Bed, and that one looked really interesting as well, and the description sounded so cool as well. It was kind of like a forced proximity kind of thing where this dude is renting a house, but like the one condition is that he has to take care of the neighbor because she's crippled in bed or something, but they end up like falling in love, and I just think that sounds so cute. And these also, like the covers on these look really cute. Like they're not, again, shirtless men on the cover that look like nothing but smut. Like this looks like it's gonna be a really cute romance, and that makes me very excited for it. So I really could not decide between this book and the other book, but this one was shorter and cheaper, so I just went with this one to kind of have a little taste test of this author. Oh, and I just remembered I also got a bunch of free books as well. So one of these next ones were free, so I'll go through those real quick. I know nothing about these, and that makes me very terrified. I might have to make a little video out of reading through some of these and seeing what vibes I acquire, because this is terrifying. This little stack right here, none of these are books that I would have like just picked up on my own and tried. The first book is Devil's Valentine by E.C. Land. This one is also really short. It's only 60 pages, and that makes me really nervous for a romance because I just feel like it can't be like a cute romance if it's only 63 pages. I just don't think they fall in love. I just don't think that's what this one is about, so that's scary. We also have Kalia's Hero from Brotherhood Protectors Hawaii. We have Jackson's Pursuit by Tamron Banks. Gamble by Elise Kelly, and I just realized this is that author that I was talking about a minute ago, so that makes me less nervous for this one. And then this next one has an actual like cute romance cover. This one is Mistletoe Wishes by Sasha Marshall, and this is a Christmassy one, so I'll probably save this one and try to read it around Christmas time if I can. So yeah, those are the free books I got. Flirt Like a Champ though, that first one, that one I did purchase. And these next two I'm so excited for because I don't actually know what these ones are yet. So a lot of tables had the blind date with a book option for you to buy those, and this one table, the reason I bought these from this table specifically is because they didn't have any other books out, so I couldn't see what the covers looked like, so I couldn't be swayed away from getting these because I just assumed they would be ugly covers and not really anything I would want to pick up. So I'm hoping these books have cute covers, but we're just gonna have to find out. This first one, the tropes that it says on here are reality TV, enemy to lovers, forced proximity, workplace romance, and starting over. And I thought reality TV sounded like such an interesting kind of premise for a romance book, so that's what made me pick this one up. And the little sticker on it says read what makes you happy. So we're gonna find out together what is in this. Oh, and I just noticed there's this other sticker, and it's a little cat on a bookshelf. Oh, this is really like heavy duty tape on here. This might be a little difficult. Okay, so it's not a great cover, but it could be worse. So this one is Hot Shot. Ooh. Chef. I was like, what does that say? By J.A. Lowe. Interesting. So this is about a dude who has like a chef reality show. And when I heard reality TV, I was more thinking dating show, I guess. This still sounds like a really interesting premise. So this one sounds interesting. So excited about that. And so the next one I have says Billionaire Forbidden, Emotional Scars, Cupcakes, and Family Drama. And me and my friend were both very interested what cupcakes meant, so that was kind of why I picked this one up. And the sticker says we're going book shopping, and I just think that's really cute. So I'm gonna find out what this one is. Maybe. I guess I get to find out. Okay, this cover is better for sure. There are no men at all on it, which is always a plus because men are thumbs down for me. Paradise Found from the Paradise Club series by J.A. Lowe. Okay, so it says, the rules are simple at the Paradise Club. Never mix business and pleasure outside of the club. Seems simple enough, right? Until 6 feet of blonde temptation walks into the club. I've never crossed a line with a client before. Never wanted to until him. So it sounds like she's a hooker of some sort. So yeah, this one definitely seems interesting. So that is my haul from the event. And then after that, me and my friend moseyed over to some bookstores. So the first place we hit was the Thrift bookstore to sit in those books that I was unhauling, get some store credits, and purchase some things. So here's what I got from that. So the first 2 things I have are just things they didn't accept. So The Hunt for Red October by Tom Clancy, they did not want this one. So I'm gonna try to sell this myself, and if I can, then I'm just gonna donate it. And same with Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. Not surprised that they didn't want this because who in the world would want this piece of absolute shit? This book makes me so angry. Anyway, okay, so I purchased 3 things from this thrift bookstore. Okay, so this first thing that I got was The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. I don't really know anything about this except that it is a vampire book, and this was really popular a while ago on BookTube, I want to say. But Holly Black is the author of The Cruel Prince. Oh my gosh. Holly Black is the author of I forgot what it was again. What did I just say? The Cruel Prince. Holly Black is the author of the Cruel Prince series, which a lot of people really, really love. And this one, I saw this. Ooh, this is a blurb by John Green. Anyway, I saw this on a table at Barnes & Noble a couple of weeks ago. Well, this was like a month ago now. It's whenever I went to buy Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. This was on a table next to that with a bunch of other vampire book recommendations. And it made me just remember that this existed, and I was like, I kind of want that book, so I got it. So this next one I'm actually so excited for, and that is Repeat After Me by Jessica Warman. First of all, this book is absolutely gorgeous because it has these beautiful sprayed edges that match with the book so well. And the underneath of this is stunning as well. It's literally in perfect condition. This book was only $12, and I'm just so excited that I have this in my hands right now. I literally was like ready to check out with my 2 other books, and then I saw this in the line as I was leaving, and I was like, dang, I have to have this book, so I got it. But I'm just gonna read you guys the first half of the description in this because that's what really like sucked me in and made me really desperately need this book. So she's about to have a serious temporal tantrum. In retrospect, I probably should have passed on these ceviche. I have no idea what that word is. I'll put it on the screen right here. I don't know. It was already a weird Friday. My class is stuck on an eerily remote island for our senior trip. I'm pretty sure Mr. D, call me Max, is hiding something from us. My ex-best friend, her nemesis, keeps stealing my candy, and tonight's plan for my boyfriend and me to finally lose our virginity to each other is going hellishly. I mean, ceviche is delicious, don't get me wrong, but a dish made from a supposedly immortal octopus should really come with a warning label. Caution, consuming a telepathic sea creature of unknown origin may result in immortality, no consequences to any actions, and getting stuck in a time loop for all of eternity. I'm not going to read the rest of it because that's as far as I read, and I don't want to spoil myself or anything, but this just sounds so good, and I'm really excited for this. I like the vibes, I like the attitude and the description. I expect the writing style of this to be really fun, and I'm just so excited. And the final thing I got from the thrift bookstore was 5-Star Stranger by Kat Tang. And I have really been wanting more books that give off literary fiction vibes. I'm pretty sure that's what genre this book is, at least I would assume from the look of it and reading the description and everything like that. But this is basically about a world in which people can rent a stranger. Earlier during this shopping trip, I had seen the manga Rent a Girlfriend, and I just thought that concept sounded so interesting. But I didn't get it because I didn't want to grab the first book in a really long manga series because that would stress me out, so I just left it be. And then I found this that was also the same really interesting concept but in a literary fiction, and then so I just had to have it at that point. The concept has already sold me, and the vibes of this are just so immaculate. And also I got home and told my boyfriend about that, and he informed me that the manga is terrible because he watched it and hated it. So now I'm very glad that I got this version instead of the Eagle version. I'll read again as much of this description as I read in order to sell me on this book. In an age where online ratings are all powerful, 5-Star Stranger follows the adventures of a top-rated man on the Rental Stranger app, a place where users can hire a pretend fiancé, wingman, or extra mourner for a funeral. Referred to only as Stranger, the narrator navigates New York City under the guise of characters he plays, carefully maintaining a professional distance from his clients. But when a nosy patron threatens to upend his long-term role as a father to a young girl, Stranger begins to reckon with the attachment to his pretend daughter, her mother, and his own fraught past. He must confront the boundaries he has drawn and explore the legacy of loss that has shaped his life. And that just sounds so fascinating, and it's also pretty short, but I expect this to be really like emotional and impactful, and I'm just really excited for this one. That was not the end of my journey today. After the thrift store, we also went to Barnes & Noble and I bought 3 more books. So the point of this whole journey, well, not really the point, I was just going book shopping with my friends, but my main goal during this journey was to return home with Hunting Adeline by H.G. Carlton. And I'm assuming you've already gathered this by the fact that it popped up on the screen instead of me holding the book for you guys, but I did not acquire this book. I looked in the thrift store and I couldn't find it. And then we went into Barnes & Noble and I was like, okay, I'll just get it here. And then I remembered that I just don't want to do that because I don't want to be giving this author money because I feel yucky about that. So I instead really want to get the thrift store version of this. So I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to just make another trip or 2 back into that thrift bookstore and see if I can find it at other points in time. And I'll just spend my real money on it at that point instead of store credits or whatever. I did not get that book, but instead I got 3 other books that I am so excited about. So this first one is kind of one that I've been wanting recently because I've been seeing it floating around, and that is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Peltz. So I saw this in the thrift store, but it was like a hardcover version. It didn't have the sprayed edges and it was a little beat up like on the dust jacket, and so I just really wanted like a very pristine version of this book because I feel like this is one that I'm going to really enjoy and that I'm very excited to have in my hands. So I just wanted a really nice copy of it. This is basically about a lady whose husband dies, her son goes missing, and then she becomes friends with an octopus. At least that's what I got from the description. That might not be entirely correct, but that's what I'm gathering from this, and I am really excited for it. So yeah. I forgot, I also have another book that my friend just gave me because she was going to take it into the thrift store anyway, and it was one that I was interested in. So she gave me People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I haven't read any Emily Henry yet, but I do really expect to enjoy her books, and I have Book Lovers on my shelf already by her. So yeah, I also have this one now to add to the collection. And then she'd also been borrowing the 5th and 6th Shatter Me books from me. That was a weird sentence to say. But anyway, she gave me back Defy Me because she completed this one. So I have that now back on my shelves. More books to find homes for. Woot woot. And then the next 2 books that I got from Barnes & Noble are I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com by Kimberly Lemming. So I originally, when I found this book, I was looking for the book. It's called That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, and it's by this author. And I was looking for that, and I saw this on the shelf right next to it, and I thought this one sounded a little bit more interesting. So the first couple sentences of the description says, Dorothy Valentine is close to getting her PhD in wildlife biology when she's attacked by a lion. On the bright side, she's saved. On the not so bright side, it's because they're abducted by aliens. I just thought the vibes of this one, it sounded so fun and interesting, and that just made me really excited for this book. And the final book that I acquired today is the Grimoire Grammar School Parent-Teacher Association by Caitlin Rozakis. And, oh no, it's bent a little at the bottom. It's okay, I'll live. This book just sounded right up my alley because grammar is what I want to do as a career. Like, I want to be a book editor, and the back of this sounded just so fun, and this just seems so whimsical and like silly goofy, and I am so excited for, again, just the vibes of this book. It just seems so neat, and also the cover is really pretty and it has sprayed edges, and I don't know how I feel about the purple on orange. I feel like it could have been a different color, but you know, Cheetos are cool too. But yeah, I'm so excited about this book. And then last but not least, I got this tote bag that says a bag of books, and I got this free with my Barnes & Noble membership. So yeah, that is all the things I got today. I feel like that haul took up 2/3 of this video, even though this was technically a bookshelf reorganization video. But this whole process started with me reorganizing my bookshelves, and now I'm gonna have to reorganize them again in order to fit all these books on there. So we'll see what I'm gonna do about that. I have no idea. I don't have any solutions in mind at the present moment because I didn't consider the fact that I was gonna acquire 13 books in one day. Like, I don't know how this even happens to me. I don't know. I have no words for what happened here. But I have a lot of new things. I'm very, very excited about these additions to my shelves and to my decorating habits with my 9,000 stickers that I acquired. This was a fun time for sure, for me anyway, especially getting all of these books. I feel like my shelves definitely look nicer now and less like haphazard. That is definitely a plus. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then please hit the like button and subscribe if you would like to, and hit the notification bell if you would like to see the other videos that I post on Thursdays with the reading sprints on every first and third Monday of the month. My Bookstagram, my Goodreads, and my book talk will all be linked in the description of this video if you guys would like to check out any of those, as well as the link to some of my most recent videos. One of those will be my August Wheel of TBR. If y'all want to see the books that my wheel spun and chose for me to read in the month of August. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!